Hey, good morning, everyone. It is 2:40 in the morning here, and watching a few thunderstorms that are severe out there for areas down towards I-70. So we're burning the midnight oil, or I guess you could say the 2 a.m. oil here to just update folks on what we've got going on. And so we're going to kind of walk through some things here and keep you updated on that. So we'll see some folks come in and out, and I know there are thunderstorms across the area, but we'll keep you updated. I'm Jacob Dickey here. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty is also in the building, but he's working on some other things, and so we will just kind of briefly keep an eye on things as give you an update here with those storms that are pushing on through the region. So if you can hear me on this early Saturday morning, go ahead and let me know where you're watching from, and we'll keep you updated here on that. We do have in our viewing area a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect, going to be for Jasper, Effingham, and Fayette counties. It's going to be the far southern parts of that there. And that's going to include areas south of Effingham. We're getting down really close into Clay County and places like that just outside of our viewing area. I thought I'd hop on mainly for one tornado warning that's issued just south of our area here. That's going to be for this storm that's south of Kinmundy down there. That'll be heading towards Louisville and Bible Grove and Flora over towards Clay City soon. We may see that extended, but we thought there may be some folks in parts of southern Fayette County, even southern Effingham County, that got an alert on their phone. And if you got that alert, then your cell phone goes off for the wireless emergency alert. Some of our viewers down that way may have gotten that. So that's why we're hopping on here. Again, that tornado warning is not for our viewing area. It is just south of it, but it's going to be from Marion County and eventually may head in the direction of Jasper and Clay County, Richland County there, maybe up towards Crawford County. I don't think the tornado warning would cover Effingham County at all, but it does not now either. But where the path that is heading there. We're looking here is a little bit further to the north on the northern edge of that storm. We do have severe thunderstorm warning. It's going to be for 70-mile-an-hour winds here coming into southwestern Effingham County. You can kind of see the cutoff here is really sharp. It's going to be down Mason, south of Elliottstown, south of Watson. But I know Effingham now is getting some thunder and lightning and some heavy rain out there. Anyone along and south of I-70 really getting a lot of this action here. Just to the north of it, more rain showers for places like Shelby County, northern Fayette, northwestern Effingham County, up towards Beecher City, and you get up towards Stewartson, Strasburg, places like that. But that's pretty much what's going on there. Just some rain and whatnot. I'll throw the lightning on. Some embedded rumbles of thunder possible. But the main activity for us is down here south of I-70 as expected, with that severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-per-hour winds. And at this point, that tornado warning that's been issued for Marion County. Let's talk about what we're looking at here. That's going to be for areas south of Kinmundy. If I scroll back a little bit, when they first issued the warning, that's some really intense wind that's in there coming into the Salem area. Now, we do struggle in this area with the radar data being a bit on the high side. And what I mean by that is the radar beam looking higher into the storm. So it's not the greatest view close to the ground. But looking at the National Weather Service, that the area in Salem is having quite a bit of damage as the storm coming on through. There's been power outages and power lines down. And they've been reporting some really strong winds in the Salem area from this. And that makes sense. I mean, you look at that core of wind coming on through. There is a little rotation in there. Right now, to me, it sticks out that it's going to be just southeast of Kinmundy over the Omega area. And that would be out towards the, there's a state park out there. And the name escapes me right now. It's Stephen Forbes. That's it. The Stephen Forbes area. And eventually be heading over towards Oskaloosa into Clay County, probably up towards Iola. Might start to get closer to southern Effingham County on that path here, towards Blair, south of Mason, south of Edgewood there. If it did continue in that northeastward track, then maybe we look at Eberly. Maybe we start talking about parts of areas south and west of Newton County. We will see what the National Weather Service says about that. There is a tree on a home in Salem and some power outages there. And so that is something that will be watched here. National Weather Service in Lincoln at this point is saying that this could have some potential for a tornado in far southern Effingham County and into parts of be Clay, Richland, and Jasper County under that. They're not going with a tornado warning at this point, but they did add what's called the tornado possible tag to that. and that's for these strong winds coming on through. Let's sample some of these winds here, just get a little idea of how strong those winds are. And you'll see here, if I get a little sample, maybe it'll pop up for me in that little spot there. We are talking about, my radar is estimating 80-mile-an-hour winds with that storm there. 81-mile-an-hour winds. Of course, you're seeing the actual warning itself there, that tornado warning. But a little sampling of that tells me that radar is suggesting there could be some 70 to 80-mile-an-hour winds with the storm coming into areas like Mason, down to the south there, Horde, Bible Grove, Elliottstown, Bethesda. This will be down towards St. John's Lutheran Church. We'll be looking towards Winter Road, the Heddyville area, and eventually towards Newton Lake. So probably going to keep it south of Dietrich, south of Wheeler. Might be close there. Might be heading more towards Newton and point south with that wind. Again, they did add the tornado possible tag to their warning, and that's just to signify that there could be a chance for a spin-up tornado in there. Now, again, hard to know if that's going to be the case with how high that radar beam is. So we're going to try and jump around a little bit on there, and we'll see if they end up adding anything to the warning or not. Let's see what's popping up here. National Weather Service is just sending a message to us here, so let me see what they're going to say about that. Got that flipped over. Folks here checking in. We do need to check area wide as well, just to get a little view on things as well. That's a good idea here. So give me a second, see what the National Weather Service is going to tell us. They're typing some information to us, and we'll take an area-wide view while we're waiting on that. For a lot of us watching here, there may be some noisy lightning and thunder perhaps out there, but we've got really, for a lot of us, no real severe threat in place. This is going to be I-70 southward. You know, Springfield, Champaign, we don't have much going on. Lightning-wise, there is some thunderstorms there from Bloomington towards Lincoln. I've been seeing in this area here. And then off towards Springfield, some continuing rain showers, but no severe weather expected for areas north of I-72 here. Really, even north of I-70, I think the threat is pretty low. But this is the main cluster that we've been watching, and I kind of talked about that earlier today being the case. Earlier this afternoon, I shared a graphic and kind of illustrated that severe threat overnight tonight. We were saying between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m., you can see where that higher threat was, right where these storms are panning on in, the lower threat to the north there, and so that has certainly panned out for that. Let me just send a message back to the National Weather Service there. Watching an area of rotation, going to cross between Iola and Xenia, be reaching US 45 in the next 5 to 10 minutes in the Horde area, perhaps. So we shall see what they come up with out there. So, a lot of you watching. I know we've got folks that are checking in. Bloomington, Springfield. We got Michael in Springfield, Sarah in Bloomington, Courtney in Urbana. Lightning woke me up in Fisher. Yeah, we've had some out there. And so that is the case for us. I do want to bring on our cameras as well. So let's go ahead and pull up our sky cams while we're at it too. It'll take me a quick second to get them up. That's Springfield right now. You can see it's pin that there. It's been moving around. There's been some rain in the area. National Weather Service at this point saying they are not confident on a tornado warning being extended for Jasper, Clay, or Effingham counties at this point. So that's maybe some good news there. I do want to go down to the Effingham camera and see if we can get a pan of that. And that should pop up here in a second. There's Springfield. Breezy, some rain. But that's Effingham there. Had some rain falling. I'm sure if we get that camera, I'll turn it a little more south. Looks like right now, perhaps that Effingham camera facing a little more south and west. I don't know if it's even active. Yeah, it looks like it's active here. But we'll turn it a little more in the direction. Let's see if we see much. I haven't seen a lot of lightning in that, but kind of looking in that general direction there. Kevin Lighty just walked in. He's kind of looking at stuff. Looks like they did just drop that tornado warning, in fact, down there. But 70-mile-an-hour winds still expected from this, and the chance for a tornado possible. Can't be ruled out from that storm. That's going to be Effingham down towards Flora. So looking at that here, seeing it surge out when you look at the velocities on there, quite an intense surge of wind. We look at that there, a couple areas stick out there, maybe something there towards the Bible Grove, Blair area. Seems like it's kind of gusting out pretty quickly. Real intense winds just northwest of Flora, and that'd be up towards the Oskaloosa area, north of Xenia, coming in towards Louisville on 45, Louisville and Blair. But nothing really standing out with the tornado potential for our viewing area, but that Louisville area is something to keep an eye on. National Weather Service is watching that as well for wind and potentially the chance for a spin-up tornado. Not a lot of confidence at this point. I think regardless, you're going to get some strong wind from this. Kevin, you got any thoughts on this?
Windy down there.
Yeah, Kevin's saying it's windy down there. That's about right. He just walked in here. We've been burning the midnight oil and watching things here from afar. Most of our viewing area not having any severe weather from this. But again, we kind of focused on earlier this evening. We said, hey, that best chance is going to be I-70 into the south there. You can see what we put out this afternoon. And, you know, really, I think we could adjust that. And anywhere in that darker orange is about it at this point for that severe threat. So that's something that we'll keep an eye on here. There's our area-wide view. And you can see here, we're just kind of talking about the I-70 corridor south. We know we've got viewers down in Effingham County checking in. We've got Kim saying, yep, Effingham, thunder is loud as she's ever heard. South of Toledo, Sam saying lightning and thunder out there. Kyle's working third shift in group homes, saying thanks for going live. That's what we do around here. Nothing better to do on a Friday night, right, Kevin?
I have no life.
Yeah, we have. Kevin says he has no life. I tend to agree that I also don't have a life. I won't speak for you, but I think weather sometimes is our lives, isn't it? There we go. One thing that's kind of interesting here, and you can't see it on mine, but you can yours. Let me see if I can flip something around here. I would have thought the positive strikes would be gold on mine, but they are not. I like that. So they stand out. Let's see if that fixes it at all. Looks like maybe not for me. What palette are you using, Kevin?
This is actually Seth's show.
Is it? Oh, okay. I thought I saw gold bolts there for a second.
There were.
There's one thing to know about this storm, a lot of positive lightning strikes. Positive lightning strikes tend to be a sign of a strong storm. And that's the case for this. In fact, just to the south here in Clay County,
A lot of positive strikes.
55 mile-an-hour winds.
All positive.
They're all positive.
Those right there.
Why don't I just flip over on the switcher here? I'll throw that on since you can show it a little bit better. There we go. Now we're on yours, Kevin. So that's a look at positive strikes.
All of those are positive, and now all of those are everything.
Am I saying that right? It's late/early. The positive is stronger.
Positive is stronger.
Suddenly I started questioning myself.
Stronger. Amperage.
Usually it's color-coded for me, but
Yeah.
I know what's going on. We'll have to fix that when it's quiet. I don't know when is it going to be quiet around here? You want a mic? I'll go get you a mic if you want one.
Monday night, Tuesday.
You want to join in on the fun here?
I'm here.
Yeah. All right, we're back on Max 1, so you can do that. 55 mile-an-hour wind gusts recorded at Xenia and Iola on Highway 50. In that area, that's down in Clay County. And I know in Salem, they've got quite a bit of damage down in Salem. They've been hit so hard this spring with flooding and severe weather. And last year, they had quite a bit too. There's some trees on homes and power lines down in the Salem area from this. Let's pop up the Effingham camera again and give you a view of that. And you can see how, wait, which camera do I have on here? Which one am I looking at? Am I looking at Effingham? I don't think that camera's working right now for some reason. Okay. Okay, there's the Neal Street camera. Let's see if, I think our router cameras are not working for me here.
The winds down in Louisville is pretty intense.
Yeah. I may be having an issue with the cameras on Max 1 pulling in correctly. Let's see if I can get it to work on this graphic instead. Because the Effingham camera is frozen, but I see the information. Yeah, I think our cameras are frozen.
No.
Kevin, can I stick it on yours real quick so I can
Yeah,
restart?
yeah. Go ahead.
I'll do that. So I got yours.
Okay,
open.
Louisville, man, look at that. That's a pretty little storm down there. Let's see if I can pull up the wind. So basically, we're having to use the, well, I call it
Which,
the.
did you turn your mic on?
Yes,
Okay, you got
I'm
it.
Prod
Good.
8. Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm there. They should be able to hear me okay. We're having to use the Evansville radar, essentially, to get a good view. But you can see right there, when I show you the velocity, the colors there, brighter kind of greens and almost kind of a whitish or bluish that's in there. That's a pretty strong wind gusts that are coming through right there along 45.
Corey just says they lost power in Iola. That's
Okay.
just northwest of
Yeah.
there.
There's some pretty good winds kind of all along that. They're along and just west of 45 and kind of crossing there. So, yeah, some good gusts. Not seeing a ton of rotation, but definitely very strong straight line winds probably, and maybe even a little bit of hail. And that's what you're looking at here. That little purplish color that is showing up. Might have some hail located within that. But so the Effingham camera,
It should work on your computer.
it should work on mine.
I think I've had some issues
Okay.
with that.
Here, I'm just
on
gonna try to
Max 1. So I
gonna
think
try
it'll
to-
pull up in
let's
yours.
try to pull it up here.
You'll have to.
That's Pontiac. Just want to see if we can get some Effingham action going on. Let's take this, and we'll go from the northernmost point of our viewing area and take you all the way down to the southernmost point down near Effingham. So it might be the camera itself. I'm guessing here because
I was able to see the camera.
oh
So we've got some sort of connection.
oh yeah, there is. Yeah, there's some kind of an issue that we're dealing with. Yeah, because I can see it on our other one here. Yeah. Oh man, well, that's no fun. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Well, darn, because it's interesting because we can actually see our Effingham camera on another device, but it's not feeding into our system very well.
No, it's routed into. Can you pull those cameras on the stream here?
We could, yes, we can.
So I'll pop that in here.
So you would put you'd put whether MTX2 into
Oh, right.
into 6, 7, or 8 or whatever, and then just leave our mics up. So then
So I'll put. You want MTX4?
MTX2.
I
Well,
don't know
2
if
is what I got right now in Effingham. So if you can,
I don't think.
if you can see 4, that's fine. I'll just do it in 4.
Here we go. There we are.
There you-
There's the camera.
No, that ain't it.
Nope,
either.
that's frozen too.
Goodness. But we can see the Charleston one.
There's Charleston.
Okay, hold on here.
Stick it in 4.
I'm doing 4. So here comes 4 now. Here, you guys get to hear the live commentary of us doing technology here at
Best
4
part of the
o'clock in
night,
the
I think,
morning.
for folks.
Here we go.
Melinda says,
Come on.
Kevin, you need a coffee.
Boy,
I had 3 already today.
I need more than that.
Carolyn saying
Oh.
small hail southeast of Edgewood.
I don't know what is going on. This is wild.
I don't know why that's doing that.
I don't either. All right, I guess we'll just have to stick
A little
to
bit of hail in Effingham. If you got size of hail, let us know.
radar.
It's not working.
No, it's not.
It's pretty light,
strange. Very strange. Okay, gonna come back down here. Boy, that
There you go. Max 2's back up.
I'm kind of at a loss for words on why we can't see that camera on in our systems. And even after your reboot,
Yeah.
you can't.
I'm wondering if that's
Yeah,
better get it fixed by Sunday.
But it's strange that we can see the other cameras okay? Charleston? No, I'm saying like when
Oh,
you
I
punched
see what you're
up
saying.
Charleston and Pontiac.
I'll play around with it while you're.
Okay.
I
There
don't
you
think the
go.
wind looks as impressive anymore. It may have just been a little windbag right there. Let's talk about some damage in Salem from the wind.
Salem, that's when they had the tornado warning.
Yep, that is. And a couple weeks ago they had flooding down there in Salem.
Oh yeah.
And
We almost
they've
had you.
some
We
bad
almost had you
windstorms.
all the way down there.
About the last year has been really rough in Marion County.
You down towards. Did you get it? Get it back?
Okay, so there's Max 1. It updated as if it was a picture, not the streaming video. That's troubleshooting.
That is strange.
Point there. I just saw updates. So.
Somebody call Seth Bunoff. We need Seth here to give us the lowdown on what's happening there in the old Diedrich area.
I'm sure his dad would call us if he wanted to. I think it's the Mr. Bonoff watching.
Boy, if he is watching us at 3 a.m., sir.
There should be Seth here, but I don't know what we agreed to.
Well, yeah, we allowed. Well, Seth has to come back in to do the morning cut-ins of the morning show.
Coming in at 8 o'clock. I don't think you ever did this for me, and we're doing it for Seth. What a lucky guy he is.
Yeah, see? Got both of us in here. Also, we are, shameless plug while we have several of you watching, but we've got our severe weather show that airs on Wednesday. That's a lot of the reason why I'm here this late working on that. So we've got our severe weather show, Weathering the Storm. It's going to air on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. So if you're on here watching us, you are most likely either within the storm down there or you're a weather nerd like us, and you would enjoy that show. So make sure you set your DVRs or tune in, or we'll probably stream it and all that good stuff too, so you can check it all out on Wednesday at 6:30. Southeastern portions of Effingham County getting it pretty good. Elliottstown. Maybe some pea-sized hail in there and some winds.
Mary Cemetery area.
Well, that thing must be moving pretty quick. I feel like that thing's just kind of
55
racing along pretty good now.
Speed. These are the storms that farmed all the way down in your old television market.
Well, these are the ones that had tornado warnings down in the Springfield, Missouri area. Just got rough on the Effingham-Clay County line. You betcha. It is coming down pretty good. Just gonna have to figure out that Effingham camera situation, or all of our cameras. I don't know. It's too bad too, because I'm getting some good lightning on that camera.
Yeah, same. It looks pretty neat. Let me just pop it back up, see if it's working. Nope, still frozen.
Huh. Yeah, see, so much lightning in the Effingham area. And I wish I could share it with you because it looks so good in our camera. All right. Let's see if I can't.
Looks like down in Springdale, Arkansas, they had a tornado go through with some damage.
Did they?
Yep.
Springdale. Springdale, Fayetteville?
Yep.
That's Walmart.
Wally World.
Walmart headquarters
yeah.
is Springdale, I think, or I can't remember. I've slept since then. At
this point, I think the cluster itself not looking nearly as impressive. And I'll back it up on mine real quick and kind of show folks.
Yeah, you go ahead.
The
I'm
orientation
gonna
of
try
it.
to troubleshoot this
There you
camera
go.
thing.
You want me to turn your mic off?
Yeah.
All
Go
right.
ahead and shut it off. there.
I'll turn your mic off. So.
So you don't hear me yelling and screaming.
Yeah.
Darn thing.
Something like that. All right, so here's those storms about 2 o'clock. They're blowing on in, and you can see how that bottom edge of the line just seemed to surge outward. And look at all the lightning that came with that, too. And that surge really took off there in the Marion County area. There's Salem, Kinmundy. Farina is just northeast of there. And right in there in northern Marion County, really where it surged out and the wind picked up. And at this point, the lightning levels have really trended less as it's moving into the Newton area. And still quite a bit, though. I mean, southeastern Effingham County, plenty of lightning and thunder there, but overall, I think that storm is on a weakening trend. So that's something we'll keep an eye on here. I'm sure there's still maybe some small hail in there. Let's pull up the hail size checker and see if it's picking up anything. It takes sometimes a few seconds for that data to load, if there is anything. But looks like there might be some small. Typically, when you see those white colors, you're talking less than quarters. So we thought if any storms popped earlier this evening and tonight, that would be a hail threat, but then the wind threat would kind of be later, and that's kind of how things panned out for us here. But still got a severe thunderstorm warning now for far southeastern Effingham County, and then southern Jasper County, southern and central Jasper County, Newton, south and east will be for St. Marie, West Liberty, Smallwood. That's going to include Bogota. It's going to include the Newton Lake area. It'll be down by the power plant. And down further south, then, as you head towards West Liberty, some of those smaller communities, Ingraham, Wakefield, Shamrock. That's as we're now starting to get down into the Richland County area. We got Clay and Richland counties also included in that warning. Not our television market. We got a lot of friends down there that have watched us over the years, and we've been down there chasing a few times ourselves even. The Route 50 corridor from Flora to Olney over towards Lawrenceville and Vincennes. But as far as our television market goes, the TV boundaries actually technically stop Effingham County, but we've got Jasper and Crawford County included on our maps because we do have viewers that are some legacy viewers down there that keep in touch and things. So, tend to think here, 3:30 a.m., that wind speed down to 60 mile an hour. We'll watch this for a few more minutes, and then we'll probably wrap this little digital cut in and wrap things up for you. But getting some reports of some power lines down from this storm in the Salem area. It seems like maybe Salem had another thumping from it. And, you know, right now, Elliottstown and really Dietrich is
Dietrich got it pretty good.
coming down.
We lost power briefly there in Dietrich. Looks like we got some storm chasers on here. Some storm chasers hanging out tonight. Maybe storm spotters and chasers.
There, I turned your mic on.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, sorry.
There you go.
I forgot.
Yeah, me too.
Little storm
It's late.
chasers. Got some storm chasers in the house. Tuning in here tonight at 3 a.m. with us weather nerds. Cam and Melinda. Cam over there talking about the sin today.
Is that Cam Crosby?
Yeah.
There he is.
The sin.
Yeah, a lot of sinning today.
A lot of sinning.
And that's a weather.
You shouldn't have sinning on Easter
No,
weekend.
but we had it.
And we had sin. No.
Kind of taking folks to the regional view here to take a peek out a little further. And we don't have any weather watchers in our area. And there's severe thunderstorm watch, south central Missouri, northern Arkansas there for storms. But those storms, they could progress, would be a southern Illinois issue. Really, this is kind of the last chance to get some strong storms. This is one little cluster here. Some rain, embedded thunder for the rest of us out there, and that may continue to be the case. I'll pop on the lightning with the local radar. Probably some folks up in McLean, Livingston, Ford, northern Iroquois County, getting some thunder and some lightning. Might be waking up. Not worried about any severe weather there. Those storms don't have a lot to work with. And a big old rumbly storm there coming into out of Effingham County, moving in towards Jasper, Crawford, far southern Cumberland County. There's plenty of lightning and thunder as well there. Doesn't look like anything severe. And then in the Clark County area, that'll be where it's heading next. It's been a blockbuster year for that part of the world.
Well, they get a lot of stuff down there just south of 70, that's for sure.
They've been, even along.
Yeah.
Just that general zone has been the hot spot this year for 20 years. Even up I-57, we've had our fair share.
So things have calmed down in Edgewood, the furthest southern portion of our technical viewing area, and also the furthest southern water
Off the earth
tower.
before you get there, right?
Water tower.
Yeah, that's true. Farthest water tower.
Farthest water tower down there. The old.
We came back from Hamilton County when we went down to the Eclipse in McLeansboro. I think you and I both cut through Edgewood to avoid traffic.
We did.
And then you partied your separate way, and I rode 57 north.
That's right.
Yeah, plenty of that lightning. I bet Dietrich's having a...
Yeah. Anna over here saying she had the choice to choose Champaign or St. Louis. And she chose Champaign because she knew we'd be here. That's right, Anna.
That's one of the stranger things to me is that Clay County is the St. Louis television market. So when you look at those television market boundaries, it just sticks out there all by itself.
Yeah.
Because then I think Flora south of Flora then is
Yeah, that's a weird.
Wayne County.
That's weird. You get down there in that kind of southern Illinois area. Is it Evansville?
Wayne
Is
County
it
goes Paducah.
Paducah?
Effingham County goes us. Technically by the TV market boundaries, not digital world, TV market boundaries. Crawford Jasper are Terre Haute.
Yep.
And then Clay County just kind of sticks out there. So thanks, Santa. Darren's saying Dietrich got it pretty good, starting to settle down a little bit. Nice light show down there. I bet. Same thing for Newton. I don't think the National Weather Service has said a whole lot more. They understand that, and this makes sense, that slight weakening trend may also just be them transitioning to elevated.
Yeah.
Maybe ups the hail threat a little bit more. For us, not expecting any watches tonight. We're pretty much in our television market.
Gina, in Clay County, we have St. Louis. Hate it.
Pretty much done. And they dropped the warning. There we go.
No more warnings. That storm definitely moved really quickly.
Yeah.
And it's kind of collapsing a little bit. Still heavy rain, but definitely collapsing. But that thing, if it would kind of continue, it's going to come into Clark County there, south of Casey, and getting over
Don't
towards.
touch my moonshine.
Yep, I was going to say the burgers. They're just getting ready to head in here in a little bit. Get ready to start doing the burgers down in Moonshine.
Yeah. Not much showing up at the hail size. But we'll see. If that picks up, we might get it across the state line before it can get its act together again, if it were to do that. Well, we got you. Let's just take a look at the SPC outlooks real quick here for our viewing area. Some updates from that. So today is Saturday, technically. For some of us, the overnight shift,
It's
third
still
shift,
Friday.
we're up.
I've not gone to bed. It's still Friday.
Yeah, so others it's Friday, but for Saturday afternoon and Saturday night, there is a marginal risk in the I-70 corridor. Not really worried about much from that here. We might get a gust of wind or maybe a chance at some hail, but it seems like more just a rainy day for us, I think, Saturday. We'll see where that cold front ends up. It's not much to work with. Then we get to Sunday, and Sunday continues to trend up. We've been talking about it for a few days around here. For the slight risk, pretty much Lincoln, Taylorville West is that slight risk. Marginal risk then from Bloomington, Champaign towards Coles County and Effingham. And then that enhanced risk has grown in size in far western Illinois and into northeastern Missouri there. And we'll see how things trend here. I think there's a higher ceiling for western Illinois with the chance for severe weather. How it exactly plays out, I'll tell you what, we can look at some of the latest model data. And we'll look at it together is what we'll do here. And going to overlay these.
From what it sounds like, Jacob's going to send me over to Pittsfield on Sunday.
Oh, you taking the keys on Sunday?
Well.
You trying to get out of family Easter? Yeah, that graphic's not working. Kevin and I tend to fight. We fight for the keys. Oop. Got the wrong one here. Hang on, bear with me. Keep clicking buttons. There's the one I want. So we'll walk through future track here. You get an idea here tonight. Notice those storm clusters coming on through. There might be into the early morning hours. That'll be Seth's problem. And that's probably a Southern Illinois problem as well as we slide on in. Now, through the day Saturday, it's just some rounds of scattered showers, some rumbles of thunder. Again, nothing really sticking out as severe. Sunday, that boundary starts to lift to the north, and so we may have some strong storm potential in the morning hours Sunday to start an initial round. That probably is hail, maybe some wind, certainly some heavy rain there. And then you see some dry time in the afternoon. We really get to destabilize things with that. And then into the afternoon and evening, still some questions on how storm mode looks. I think that linear is not out of the question, but there's probably some embedded circulations in that line. And we're getting to 6, 7, 8 o'clock, those storms moving on in. The later we go, the further east we go, they should weaken. But, I feel pretty favorable for severe weather, in my opinion, there. Western Illinois and moving into at least the west half of our viewing area. We'll see how far east they go, but you can see that weakening trend. Just running out of time and moving east of where the unstable air is. And then after that, I think we quiet down for a couple of days, which will be nice. So, last thoughts, Kevin?
Last thoughts.
I haven't seen any new reports slip in.
No, somebody said they maybe lost some power in Wheeler there.
Wheeler?
East of Old Diedrich. And, yeah, looks like down here in Flora, we make sure we have your pages up. Your team is so much more on top of things. All right, Chris, appreciate you. And Katie, you're welcome.
You need to go do a weather on the road down in Flora.
In Florida, we're going to take back Clay County.
Did we used to have Clay County?
Nah, I don't think so. But
I'm trying to think. Because I know longtime folks in McLean County know that used to be our television market. And then
yeah, McLean definitely was.
Peoria, they threw a fit over there. They were like, we need more.
So it looks like there is pretty good power outages down west of Xenia.
Marion County, Clay County.
Salem, definitely. Salem's got all kinds of outages there.
Yeah, they've been hit hard this year. I feel bad for those folks down there.
So yeah,
I'll throw the radar back on. I realize I'm just sitting on an empty future.
Marion County, man. Marion County.
Goodness, there's all the positive. I think what it is I've got it set to where it starts yellow and they flash, and then when they land, they stay white is what's happening on that. So I can fix that.
Yeah,
The initial strike.
the initial strike's yellow.
Is yellow, and then it goes to
Goes to the white. And then the darker gray ones are older flashes. So old lightning strikes.
See if that fixes it, makes it look like I want to. There it is. That looks better. You can see all the yellow strikes in there. So it's a good solid thunderstorm. Bobby Sands in Martinsville. Do I need to run to shelter? No.
Don't get hit by lightning.
That's true. Yeah. Don't be on the.
I will say this.
Don't use your corded phone.
Yeah,
No showers.
Yeah.
No landline?
How many out there have a corded landline phone that you use at your house? I would be curious to know that.
That's true.
And speaking of the lightning there are a lot of positive lightning strikes. And if you ever wanted to get hit by lightning, you want it to be a negative lightning strike.
Right. Right.
And not a positive one. And I know you're probably going, what is this guy talking about? But the positive lightning strikes, they tend to have more of an amperage, and those are the ones that actually, definitely cause damage and are actually more deadly because of the higher amperage that's associated with a positive kind of lightning strike. So you don't want to get hit by one of those, but I guess in general you don't want to get hit by one at all.
Yeah, it's kind of like, would you rather get hit by a Toyota or a MTD bus?
Yeah, there you go.
You don't want to get hit by either of them, but if you had
Yeah.
to.
If you had to take a choice.
We can say stuff like that at 3:18 in the morning, can't we? I think our bosses are all sleeping.
Yeah, they're not up.
Somebody's going to email the station. Meteorologists are saying get hit by a car or a bus.
3:19 in the morning. These weather guys.
Yeah. Somehow we have a number of people watching, too.
Yeah, there you go. Hanging out.
291, 300? Not bad for 3:20 in the morning.
Yeah, why not?
Tyler Repking.
Oh, old Tyler Repking
Just
down
lost
there.
power in Bishop. I think a lot of those power outages are more going to be lightning hit a pole, which popped a transformer, rather than from
Oh, yeah.
strong wind at this point. And I'll pop the wind signature back on and kind of look. You know,
Cam down here with the classic Twister quote. I'd like to get hit by lightning once. See what it's like.
Not much to look at in the wind side of things. Anyway.
Moonshine. Look out, moonshine. It's coming.
Yeah, hail size. I mean, you see those slight shades of gray. Not much at all. So, well, Kevin, shall we wrap this up?
Boy, I think our fans are going to be upset if we
That's
if we
true.
leave
I
them
mean, I
here,
feel like-
but it is also 3:20 in the morning, and I could be back in here tomorrow to do some stuff, and then we might be back in here on Sunday with you guys. Or
Yeah.
Some of us will be in here. Some of us will be out.
Ashley, not me going to Google negative and positive lightning strikes.
Allison, definitely not planning on being awake at this hour in Newton, Illinois. No power. It's very true.
Cam, cut it off. I'm tired.
Me too, bud. Me too. I was at an ice cream shop just, 9 hours ago.
That's true. I was thinking about that. I came in here for the afternoon at, I think it was about 3 o'clock when I rolled in.
My,
right.
my shift should be over. I've been here for 9 hours since 6 o'clock, but 6 o'clock was not when I came in.
Look at Isaac saying the lightning is crazy in Martinsville. Yeah,
There's
there's
a
lot
ton of
of
lightning.
No
Here.
doubt. In fact,
Can't you can we do the counter? Is the counter in there?
guys, I was just about to do that.
The lightning counter. I can't remember where that's at.
You got a guess?
It's in there somewhere.
What do you think?
I'm going to guess. Oh my! I'm going to say 427.
And then question. This is a 15-minute count, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to say 427. 268. Okay. All right.
That's still pretty good.
Still a lot.
I mean, look at the negative versus positive number.
Yeah, that's quite impressive. Yeah, so that's an active storm for sure. Man, goodness. Quite the light show. So yeah, so that's going to come into Casey and Martinsville. I mean, good old Hazel Dell. Moonshine. Save the burgers.
Save the burgers.
Save the burgers.
So I tell you what, I got something else here. I feel like I can ask you questions because it's again 3:23 in the morning. Gives me in the query description a maximum amperage.
Yes.
Elaborate on that. The number is 145.
Well, gosh, I don't know the reference of like.
That's what I'm. Because I know amperage is related to electricity, but I
Yeah,
don't know what
yeah,
they're
yeah.
measuring with.
Well, yeah, I mean, you click on the lightning strike there, and you get the amperage for those. Can you? Oh, you can't show that. Okay.
It just tells me time for the lightning ones.
Just-
But it gives me in the area check.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Where's it showing the amperage at?
So when I did like the lightning one,
Yeah, yeah.
when I do this big old box,
And it comes up over there.
145.
Okay. Yeah. Maximum amperage was 145.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, the positive ones are probably the ones we're all hearing too. Yeah, I mean, they're the loud ones, the big, I mean, that's the powerful ones. I'm positive that they're hearing the positive lightning strikes. And this is only
So-
cloud to ground too. This does not take into account cloud to cloud, the other strikes. So at this point, again, there's not much wind showing up with this. Hail risk is low at this point, but I would be willing to bet as that gets closer to Terre Haute, that hail risk could come up a little bit here. No warnings at this point at 3:24
Okay.
in the morning.
So here you go. So the typical lightning strike is 30,000 amperage.
Yes.
So 145 is
Is that 145,000 they're measuring, or is that?
yeah.
Okay, so there's.
Yeah.
It's assumed it's in thousands.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, it's 4 times the normal strike.
Right.
So positive strikes can reach as high as 300,000 amps.
Oh.
So yeah, 145 is pretty good.
Yeah. For a mid-April storm. Still 145, 291 strikes now. Hey, it's the 19th. Pop quiz. What famous outbreak happened on April 19th in Central Illinois?
Ogden?
Yep. April 19th, 1996. And
That's
you know
now,
about the
That's 29, so it'll be 30 years next year?
next year, it'll be 30 years. Yeah. And you know about Decatur, the double strike the night before had a tornado, and then that next day had a tornado from that big one.
100 and...
Isaac's saying he's seeing blue strikes.
Well, the lightning's blue, yeah. I mean, the one I caught on our camera looking towards the State Farm Center was nice and blue.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, Decatur had, yeah. Theirs is a pretty strong one.
yeah, and it was back-to-back nights of. I tell you, Decatur's had a number of strikes over the years, but recently we've been, knock on wood,
Quiet.
big towns have not been
Big towns, yeah.
hit by big tornadoes. I mean, the biggest you probably had was Taylorville. And then you got to go to Springfield back 2006. Decatur had been 96. Champaign was 96.
Well, the thing that I say when the news teams ask us, hey, is it going to be bad? Like, how bad is it going to be? You know, when we talk about severe weather, and we talk about it a lot, and that's the question that these reporters, you know, and producers and anchors, they want, so how, you know, is it going to be bad? And I can simply say this, and this goes on to what you were just saying, but my answer to them is always the difference between a catastrophic night or day of tornadoes and one that's not when we have tornadoes is whether or not that tornado goes through the middle of a city
Yeah.
versus going through a field. You
Yeah.
could have the exact same setup on any of these, and it's just a matter of the pure luck and draw of the tornado going through the middle of a populated area versus a field. If you actually look at if you look at the land, all the land that we have, there's far more open and land than there are towns and cities from a you know, real estate kind of, you know, square mileage standpoint. So there's actually a, you know, better chance for the tornadoes to go through, hopefully, unpopulated areas. Now, yeah, somebody's farmland might get hit and all that, but, and that's what I say is, I can't tell you, and this goes for us too as meteorologists when we're trying to convey, well, how bad is it going to be? Well, if we have one tornado that goes through the middle of Tuscola, and then we have 10 tornadoes that go through the middle of nothing but, you know, a farm field or, you know, a valley or, you know, and there's no damage. Well, obviously the one day where you have the one tornado go through the middle of a populated area is going to be way worse, but we can't ever predict, you know, hours ahead of time where exactly that's going to be. So it's always such a hard thing to convey to somebody, and it can change on a dime. You could have an event be nothing, and then boom, that tornado goes through. You know, it was like the Neoga one.
Exactly what I was about to say is that EF2 tornado went for 49, 50 miles. I think the biggest quote-unquote town it hit was Union Center, and that's a neighborhood corner, a township shed.
Yeah, yeah.
Put that through move that thing 2 miles north into Toledo or 2 miles south through Greenup, and I think it's a much different story.
Yeah. The
Because if it goes
perspective
through
changes.
Greenup, then it goes through Casey, then it goes through
Yeah.
Marshall, places like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of these tornadoes go southwest and northeast. Yeah, if you line that thing up, you know, along, you can hit 4 or 5 cities, and that was kind of similar to what we dealt with a few years ago when you were over near the Windsor, Gaze area,
Yeah.
and we were like, that thing's just cruising along, might hit Mattoon, and kind of went just to the north and west, but yeah,
that
you
night,
get those on a
different
line.
story if that's 3 miles south.
Yeah, it's
in the middle of
yeah,
Mattoon.
no doubt.
Think back to the before I get the wrong year, the 1917 tornado disaster in Coles County. Both Mattoon and Charleston got hit from a west-east moving
Ooh,
tornado.
west
and that
to
was
east.
that was a
Yeah.
major tornado. 108 people killed in that event. May 26, 1917. And my great-grandmother was in Charleston at the time, and the tornado skipped over her house. Family stories passed down is that it was their house was relatively unscathed, but the neighbor's house was gone. And today, that would be probably some sort of multi-vortex
Yeah.
signature, things of that. Anyways, that track, you do the same thing.
Well, you could do-
I-72 corridor, right?
Well, yeah. Or you go up 54. You Farmer City, Bellflower, Gibson City, Melvin Roberts.
Leave my hometown alone.
Onarga. You can go right
Leave
up.
my hometown alone. No, the last time that happened was the Springfield Supercell in 2006. That started down in southeast Kansas, I think it was, northeast Oklahoma. It was at Miami area, and then it went through Springfield, and there's tornado warned all the way into Springfield, Illinois.
Yeah.
I remember that one racing up. It came right up 54. I remember watching Blake Wood and Judy Frazier that night, and they were doing wall-to-wall coverage, and they lost the tower cam in Springfield, and it was coming up 54. They just, at that time, it was county-based warnings. It wasn't the polygons that we used
Yeah.
to have.
It's the whole
So
county.
you're just seeing the counties light up all the way
Flashing.
up to 54. Yep.
Flashing.
The old famous white W in the corner.
The white W.
We should bring that back. That'd be fun. People have no idea what. Whoa.
I actually tried my first year. I was like, you guys should bring that back.
Did you?
And they all looked at me like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
And they're like,
All
our
right, late night
technology
polls.
has
You
gotten
want the
better.
old-fashioned white W from WCIA?
Well, how many people here
how
know?
many people remember that?
How many people know the WCIA white W?
Yeah.
Some of you will, but
Somebody's got to.
if you're younger, you may not. Or if you're not,
Well, anyways, it's by
to our
the way,
area.
332. We have no warnings now. It's pretty much Clark County and northeastern Crawford County, north of Robinson. One little cell that we're watching. It's a real thunder boomer moving on through. I mean, it's plenty of
I'm
thunder.
not gonna lie. I would love to be underneath that storm right
I mean,
now.
that'd be fun.
And
That would be fun.
Just watching the lightning with that. Hopefully, no fires or anything or
That's true.
lightning strikes. But
As far as, yeah, the hail size not showing much. I don't know if this graphic even populates. Not sure. It's this lightning zone. Doesn't work very well. Strike zone. No warnings.
ooh, Jasper County, they got a bunch of outages.
Do they now?
The
It's got to be the lightning. I mean, it's, it's
the
hitting stuff.
Norris Electric Cooperative.
Tori says, I remember the white W. Chris, heck yes, bring back the W. Melinda, I missed the W in the corner. Yeah, I remember as a kid, you'd see the W up there, and you're like, oh,
Hey, man.
something's happening.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
I think we got some home video from the 90s where you can see that white W in the corner. And do you remember how you know how they put that on TV, don't you?
Well, yeah. I mean,
It's like they had to aim the
Back in-
camera in the corner here.
back in the day, they didn't have the same kind of technology
Yeah.
to like basically overlay.
I mean, it
Video
was like
stuff.
one of those projectors they bring into classrooms with the
The
clear
overhead.
sheets. Yeah. I
Overheads.
think it was similar to that, the way they did that. So anyways, 333, no warnings.
But I'll say
We
this.
were on for a warning.
I was looking for that Norris Electric Cooperative outages. There's a ton down near Newton.
I saw somebody said that they had lost power in the Newton area.
Yep. Rose Hill.
Let's see, somebody else. We kind of got sidetracked. Yeah, we got no warnings, nothing, but this big, loud storm is moving towards Terre Haute. And then it'll carry on to southern Vermilion, Park County, Indiana, which we have on our map, Vigo County, be on the way out of here. Rest of the area, some light rain, some occasional rumbles of thunder, but I tend to think this is probably the end of the severe threat for the night. There are some more storms lining up there west of St. Louis. If there was something else, it'd be, again, I-70 corridor. But I tend to think that the horses hitching up and heading out of town.
Are you talking about me? Because that's about right.
That's
I'm about
you too,
to.
probably.
I'm about
me
to.
as well, I think.
I'm about
Soon.
to
I'll carry this storm in Indiana myself.
head out of town here. Call it a night.
Jake
All right.
says, Hartville, Norris Electric, they lost power for 2 minutes in Effingham County. John's saying it's bright, not surprised. They turn the air off in the studio in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it's
It's
pretty.
getting stuffy in here.
It's rough in here.
We need
Yeah,
a button to.
I know. Yeah.
Put that on your little new switcher tool
Same
you got
here.
there. We could show folks the power you got. I can put you on screen right now.
Matter of fact, the
Here
what?
comes Kevin. Kevin's on. Kevin has the power, right?
Silhouette. Actually, I do. I have this little box here. It actually can do a lot. Actually, matter of fact, hold on here. I'm gonna see something. Hold on here.
You can do all off.
Oh. I just messed
Oh,
with
did
the
they
camera.
add some camera controls now?
There's two.
Oh,
Well, this is the severe weather one. See how it's close up?
yeah, a little low. You're cut off a bit.
It is low. Oh, that's right. It is low.
Have to fix that one.
Oh yeah, they didn't take that into account. Woo! There you go.
It's better. I like that they have it zoomed in.
Yeah, this is like so you can do the zoom in.
I don't think any of us would. They must have done that on Karina's last day. Just had her stand there for that shot.
Yeah, hopefully we're gonna get more.
Because I have no idea how to work those cameras back there.
I don't either, but I'm not opposed to going and hitting a bunch of buttons to see what happens. I'll tell you that.
And then you got the lights, the power of the lights too, right?
Where are the lights? Ready? 3, 2, 1. I like it when the lights are off.
Earlier they said you sounded like you needed some coffee. You might look like you need some coffee with that little.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Hey, I got some in Iola. Strong winds. The neighbor's carport tore up with big limbs down in their yard.
You know what? I'm gonna go
You need to turn your mic off?
mess with the camera.
Your mic's off. All right. I'm going to wrap this Canarble wagon up here and kind of do some last little cover things. There's a big cold front coming through here. The storms down here, I mean, as they move their way to the north and east, I don't think this is going to be a big deal. You can see this first cluster came on through. And typically when you see that first one come through, the second one that's trying to line up west of St. Louis, typically it's going to eat up that instability. And so not too worried about that at this point. But there still could be some thunder and some lightning that rolls on through, and that can happen. That's just kind of how things roll around here sometimes, it seems. What I want to do is I'm going to get off of this. There we go. I'm going to pull up a graphic. Just check on that instability. Yeah, the instability is pretty slim down there. Yeah, and that storm itself is outrunning the instability, so that'll keep the wind threat down a bit, bring that hail threat up a little bit more, perhaps. But those next storms don't have a lot of energy to work with, and so not concerned about that. Oh, you moved it.
That's dangerous.
Oh, boy.
I know how to move the cameras now.
Oh, boy. Good for you. Good for you.
I'm pretty happy with myself there.
Oh, good. We're still on, so
Okay.
don't be too happy.
I'm happy with myself there.
So anyways,
I won't tell them that I know how to do that.
yeah, no. All right, folks.
Bye, kids. Bye, kids.
Yeah, let me wrap this up.
Bye, fellow weather nerds.
Isaac asking about the flood risk potential. There could be some. Let me pull up the latest model. Just kind of get a peek at that. It seems like with Sunday, that boundary lifting north, it spreads the rain out a little bit more. So, and this will include some of the rain we have now, but there may be some. I don't think it's going to be anything like what we had a few weeks ago when there were some, 6 to 10 inches
Yeah.
over 5 days or something like that. But ground's still wet down there. Streams are still up, so maybe a little bit. But I'm not too worried about it. But I think we're going to fall in from the rain tonight through Sunday night when everything exits the 1 to 3 generally across the area. Hey, they just popped a severe thunderstorm warning on the other side of the
Yeah. Indiana goes,
Indiana.
Illinois, you're crazy. This is severe.
Yeah, there's the National Weather Service in Indy.
It's always interesting when the following Weather Service office goes.
Look at the range folding there, of course, that purple.
Yeah,
but then
on the
they're
edge.
probably looking at that wind aloft. And
Well, again, you're getting down there in that area where you're like, do I use Indy radar? Do I use the
right.
what I call the Evansville
So
radar.
there's Evansville. There's Indy. They're probably looking at that spot in Prairieton there. That's familiar stomping grounds for you, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I think before I was born, you were working down there.
2002.
Not quite. So Vigo County, severe thunderstorm warning. You probably covered your fair share of your time. You were at the Next Star station down there, weren't you?
No, I was not at the Next Star.
Oh, you were at the.
Well, at the time it was, gosh, it went through a few different ownerships, but WTHI was Channel 10, who's now owned by Allen, who things have happened. But our friends are at, yes, I worked at WTHI with Kevin Orpert.
And it's funny because your name was not Kevin down
My name is not Kevin down there. I cannot go by Kevin because Kevin Orpert is Kevin Orpert and very famously known. And we cannot have two Kevins at a TV station doing the weather. There would be confusion. Of course, they would confuse the 19-year-old kid with the veteran meteorologist named Kevin. So no, I had to go by Scott. I was Scott Leidy for the first 3 years of my weather career. So, yeah, yes, WTWO is our sister station under Nexstar now. So yeah, Jesse Walker. Uh-oh.
That's my phone.
Oh, you were looking for your phone.
Yeah.
He was doing his, where's my
It's
phone?
so late. I'm like, where's my phone at?
Where's my, we're getting loopy there. So there you
Sorry
go.
to interrupt your Kevin Orpert story.
No, I was talking about Jesse Walker down there.
Oh, Walker, yeah.
Walker down there. But yeah, spent time down there, college, and worked, and Terre Haute, a lot of good times. And south of that too, down in Vincennes. Actually, one of the stories I covered when I was in college at Vincennes was we had to shoot a story, and the story was the installation of the Evansville radar, and that happened in 2002, I think, or 2003.
That was in response to the Evansville tornado there that hit the racetrack and
Yeah.
hit that mobile home park.
Yep. So they lobbied for that, and that was kind of a radar hole that they went ahead and said, yep. And I got to cover. And I just remember being like, oh, this is so cool seeing like a Doppler radar actually going up down there and
Yeah.
get built.
Yeah,
and
after
being
my story
added,
in
'cause
this-
because you don't add Doppler radars ever. That's
Yeah.
so rare to happen because they've had these since the late 80s, and they kind of did them all at once, and they haven't added a ton over time.
After my story airing on the severe weather special coming up
Oh,
on
yes.
Wednesday, maybe some folks will want
you
to
go.
lobby for
Well-
another radar around here,
Well, that's a plug right there.
right? I think there's some bigger radar holes and gaps out there. South Alabama's got a really bad one.
Well,
Northern Missouri, southern Iowa is a rough area. We got some areas that we don't get the greatest radar coverage, but maybe we can get through the
just don't put a water tower in line of a Doppler radar.
or windmills.
Where was it?
Windmills.
Well, windmills too. But where was the one down there?
Oh, Jackson, Mississippi. Yeah, the town of Brandon built a water
Brandon.
tower, and
Yes.
they got a disruption in the beam to the south and west. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
that's a
Very
rough
good.
one. But what
All
are we
right.
doing still on? It's
All right, kids, we're out of here.
Yeah.
We're out.
See ya.
We're out. Hey, catch us maybe Sunday.
Maybe Sunday.
Maybe Sunday we'll be
One
on
of us,
here.
both of us probably won't be here though. It'll be
Maybe. Yeah, no. One of us will be out, and yeah.
the other here, and then Seth will be here.
and Seth will be
It'll
here.
probably have to be you because I'm doing the morning show Monday for Adam. He's off in the long Easter weekend.
Yeah, I got to come down there to KZ. We'll make that happen. We've been wanting to do KZ for a while, doing the old rocking chair and
Love to see you sit in that thing.
all the stuff we've been talking about. I'll make it happen here. That's actually been on my list, and so yeah, we'll come down. So make sure you come say hi there, Isaac, when we're
And
there.
then the second one we want to make happen is Flora.
Flora,
Let's get you to Flora.
take back Flora, or take back Clay County.
It's like an invasion.
All right, kids. Good night.
Good night,
Thanks
y'all.
for joining. Thanks for being